snow elves who stayed above ground eventually kind of died out, and the ones underground eventually kind of changed and became known as the Falmer. The Falmer, which I think is very interesting. The Falmer voices Gaara in the English dub of Naruto, which I watched the subtitle version, but every now and then, if Gaara has a super dramatic or just impressive line, my partner and I will switch it to the English dub just to hear Liam O'Brien say it. There's lots of familiar voices. Okay. Bethesda, which is the video game company that does the Elder Scrolls Online games. Bethesda really upped the technological innovation for the Elder Scrolls games, and they worked on something called Radiant AI. Radiant AI. Radiant AI, which makes the NPCs seem real, with actual schedules for eating, sleeping, and working. And this was the most successful in Skyrim. So Bethesda did a lot of the work on that for AI in RPG games. Okay, so another interesting fact about interesting about the Elder Scrolls Online. Another interesting fact about the Elder Scrolls Online is that there are no children in Oblivion. There are no children in Oblivion. And that allowed the game to keep more family-friendly everything ratings, because they did not have to worry about people slaying children. Animated NPC children, not real. And in Skyrim, their solution to this was to make the children unkillable. Unkillable. Which is what they did in Skyrim. Skyrim. So, Tamriel is one of the planets, one of the continents on the planet Nirn. And there are various continents on Nirn, some of which I hadn't heard of before, including Tamriel, which is the world, the continent that is most fleshed out, and that the events of Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls take place, and that the events of Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls take place in Tamriel. There is also the continents of Akavir, Biandonia, Atmora, Thras, Yokura, possible that Maik the Liar is actually multiple generations of Maik the Liar, and that it's one family reusing the name. And yeah, that question was kind of brought up because Maik the Liar would be over 1,000 years old if it was just one Khajiit wandering around and spreading misinformation like Maik does. So it is quite possible that it is multiple generations just passing down the same name of Maik the Liar. And I guess the wandering chattiness as well. Okay. Next up is a little tidbit about Bretons. So, Bretons have some elven ancestry, which explains why they are more adept in magic than the other human races. And Bretons, embedded in their culture, is the love of questing. The love of questing. The love of questing. My main tune on the Elder Scrolls Online that I played very frequently, my main was a Breton sorcerer. And I liked playing Breton for sorcerer because they had a little more magicka sustain than other races, and for me that was very helpful. Very helpful. For me that was very helpful. For me that was very helpful. It's very helpful for a sorcerer Breton because they have higher magicka sustain. Because they have higher magicka sustain. Okay. And I just have one last fact for you. One last fact for you. During the Oblivion Crisis, the Argonians proved to be fierce competitors against the Daedric forces. The Daedra. So much so that the Daedra, the forces of the Daedra, had to retreat and close the Oblivion Gates in Black Marsh. Close the Oblivion Gates in Black Marsh, which is the homeland of the Argonians. Which is quite interesting because you don't always think of the Argonians as being a super